everyone, it's Julia. I have an upcycle here, and it's a Ralph Lauren, and this was gifted to me. One of the viewers sent it to me, and I thought this would make a really cute upcycle. I'm going to add some length to the bottom, and I found this print that I had that just ties it all together. So I'm going to be using that print and some rustic reds, a little bit of lace, and then this tannish gold color too that just kind of brings it all together. And I'm just going to be joining these pieces in one long strip, and my strip is going to be cut bigger than the dimension around the bottom. I do want it to be different on the front, and so I want one of them to be a floral on the front, and one of them that gold tan color, and you will see what I'm going to do with that. I have it sewn in just one long strip now, and I found the center of my back and also the center of this strip. And then I'm just going to pin it on. On the front, I'm setting it away, a little bit away from that snap. I turned it under and pressed it. I'm going to be stitching that turned under edge, putting a pin in there. And I've got more fabric than I need. And instead of gathering this, I am going to just do a pleat or a big tuck in the center back. Sometimes I just don't like the way the gathers lay. They just kind of sometimes get too puffy, and so I do prefer doing this. But just a personal preference. I turn that other front edge down or under, and I will be stitching that. And then here's that extra fabric in the bottom of the back, and you can see there I just tucked it and just going to be pinning this all underneath. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch just right on that hem, and there's actually a double stitch on that hem, and I'm going to stitch both of those with an olive green thread just to match it. And then I had to add a little bit more lace to that one side in the center front. It just it wasn't quite long enough when I got done sewing it. So I added that little piece. And the back, it has that nice tuck in it. Now I added some Heat and Bond Light to the back of this floral piece, and I'm going to cut these out. And I'm not going to fussy cut. I'm not going around all the detail. I'm leaving some of that cream edge showing. Just for my own sanity. It was too much detail. But I wanted to add a little embellishment to the front of that gold or tan color, and that's why I thought that'd be fun to have in the center front. And then the other side has that print. For the center back, I found this really cool bird panel or little, I don't know, I've had it in my stash forever. And I'm going to add that to the center back. Just adding another one of those floral cutoffs to that one piece of the red. And this bird cut collage or bird paint, it's almost like a panel, but it has a lot of fun details to it, just things that I like. And so I've like I said, I've had these in my stash for a long time, and every once in a while I'll pull them out and use them. I'm going to add a little bit of that lace to the bottom of it. I'm just going to tuck that underneath. Now that bird has some Heat and Bond Light already on the back side of it. And I thought I'm just going to see if I like any of these flower embellishments on here. And I just thought it was a little too much. When I look at it now, that one doesn't look too bad. But I decided just to use that really little one just right on top of the lace there. Just took that Heat and Bond Light off of the back of it, and then I'm going to press this. I had someone comment like, oh my gosh, she's pressing on her, ironing right on her pressing or her cutting mat. I'm not. I have my pressing mat underneath this too. There you see it. I'm pulling it out now because I want to stick it between my layers. I'm getting the imprint of the zipper and the snaps when I'm ironing this, and I don't like it. So I just took my pressing mat out, and I'm just putting it in between the layers. Everything is ironed on the way I want it, but I want to add a treatment to my sleeve, and I just made a fabric tube and a little piece of fabric with heat and bond on the back of it. This piece is probably about a 1-inch square, and I'm going to iron it right onto the top of my sleeve about 3 inches up. So this is like the center front of the sleeve, about 3 inches up. And you've seen, if you watch my videos, I do this quite a bit on some of mine, just to add a quick little treatment to the sleeve, just add a little bit of detail and a little bit of color. Just taking a pencil and I'm marking the center of each of those little squares, and then taking this is a big bite punch, and I'm just punching right through that. It doesn't quite cut the fabric completely. It's made more for paper, but I'm just taking my scissor and just clipping that little bit of fabric that's hanging on there off. So I've got my holes there, and I'll be taking this all to my sewing machine, and I'm just going to be stitching around this, and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing some free motion. I took my throat plate out there so I have an open arm, so I have my sleeve underneath my open arm, and I'm just going around this little piece, this square, just with my free motion. I have my feed dogs dropped, and I have my darning foot on, and now I'm going around and around that circle, or that punched out hole. And now onto the other one. Again, I outline it. I stuck with that same olive green thread for my embellishments as well. So this is have olive green thread on. And then it's just on to doing my little embellishments. And I'm doing a bunch of this thread painting. I'm just kind of outlining and just doing some detail. I really enjoy doing this. You can just add a lot of the little doodads and just kind of fill in some of the leaves. It's very relaxing. And then onto the back, I'm just leaving that back lace on the bottom of it open, but I'm going to stitch across the top of it. And I'm just going to do, again, just some of the detail on this little applique. I do a really wonky stitch. I'm not doing, I'm not trying to be straight. And you'll see me, I'm going to go up the sides too, and I'm just going to do a wonky and go over it twice. But I wanted to read there's a little saying that's underneath this bird, and it says, "Turn me loose and let me be young once more and fancy free. Let me wander where I will, down the lane and up the hill." And I thought that was just really sweet, and it just has like almost a collage look right on this little piece. Here's this little embellishment, or this little flower cutout, and I'm just going to, again, just kind of catching some of the little berries and the leaves on that. And then I'm going to do some of the detail in the bird itself, and also the stem, the little branch that it's sitting on. This is a great way to practice your free motion. If there's no mistakes on it, you can just go where you want to go. For this sleeve now, I've got those little fabric tubes. They're cut probably about 8 inches long. And again, they are just a fabric tube that I've turned, and I'm just poking that through, cuffing it, and then just tying a knot. It's just a really fun, like I said, a really fun sleeve treatment. Thank you everybody who's joined me. This was fun. It was quick. And here's some pictures at the end. Hope you have a chance to create. Bye for now.